Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. It has been a very long time since I have filmed a video. I honestly don't even remember the last video I filmed. I think it was our homeschool room tour, if I'm being honest. I think that's what it was. Our sunroom was under construction at a few different points. We got new windows and stuff in here, and then the holidays and all of that stuff. Anyway, this video is very exciting for me to film because it's going to be everything that I created. Well, let me rephrase that. Every wearable that I created, because if I included everything I created last year, we would be here for 3 hours. So this is just the wearables for myself. It's going to be a mix of crochet and sewing because those are the two things that I am into. So starting off, I have them in order. I don't remember. I know what I did like January through March and then October through December. In the middle, I don't remember which month, so it's just kind of gonna be a hodgepodge. If I have a pattern, I will link it for you down below. So check the description box if you want a pattern for anything. So the first thing I created was this little mesh crochet top. I did follow a YouTube tutorial for it. Like I said, I'll link everything for you guys. But yeah, this I technically started at the end of December 2024. I think it was like New Year's Eve I started this, and then I finished it on New Year's Day. But yeah, so this was the first completed project of 2025. And then, guys, I don't know who I thought I was, okay? I got a sewing machine the end of 2024. And I was like, I'm going to sew something for myself without a pattern. Don't know what I was thinking. So this is technically the very first thing that I created, and it was like following a YouTube video of basically how to draft something without a pattern by using your current clothes. I hate it. There's a lot of mistakes in it. Like the crotch area is just way too short. When I wore it, I actually ended up putting a tear in it because the crotch was too short and I haven't fixed it. So I don't know if I'm gonna repurpose this or what. I love A for confidence though, because I was like, I could do it, no problem. I couldn't. I've worn this once, like I said, because I put a hole in it. But yeah, A for effort. Moving right along. Next up was a Valentine's Day top that I crocheted for myself. Isn't she adorable? If I find the pattern for this, I'll let you know. To be honest, it wasn't my favorite pattern. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but like I did a gauge swatch and my gauge swatch would match. But then when I worked up the actual pattern, it was like way too small. So usually I'm a size small in patterns. So I worked up a small and it was like my daughter's size small. It was tiny. So I think I ended up making this in a large or an extra large. I don't even remember. It was one of those two. But yeah, it was a lot. I had to go a lot bigger than I originally thought I had to. And so you do the front panel, back panel, and the sleeves. The original pattern just uses one solid color, and then the bows, I decided to make it stripey and, you know, add a little extra cuteness to it. So every 3 rows, I would switch colors. And then the bows in the original pattern were a lot bigger as well. I didn't want them to be that big, so I just made them a little bit smaller. They're a little squished from hanging in the closet right now. But yeah, I will obviously be wearing her again this year. But yeah, this was my little Valentine's Day top. Moving right along, I made this bolero. Pretty self-explanatory. Again, I'll link the tutorial. Hannah Drapinski, I think her name is. That was the tutorial I did. But yeah, nothing much to say. Just a cute little bolero in red. To my second sewing project, and it is Miss Sydney Graham. She has YouTube, Etsy, Instagram, TikTok, I believe, too. You can follow her everywhere. But this is her skyline dress, I believe it's called. Yes, the skyline dress. And this actually wasn't supposed to be patchwork. However, I ran into a few problems. And when I say a few, I mean a lot. I almost cried a few times. It took me like 3 days, I think, to make this dress, because obviously I was doing almost all of these techniques for the first time. So it's a great, I feel like if you're new to sewing, Sydney Graham is an amazing person to buy patterns from because her instructions are so in depth, and she also has YouTube tutorials along with them too. But yes, so this is the very first dress that I made myself. You can see she's there. And I did use this pattern to make a few more things, as you guys will see. But yeah, so this one I used the skyline pattern for. I did buy her Sid tie top slash dress pattern this year, and I did complete it. So that's my first item of 2026 that I completed. But yes, I love Sydney Graham's patterns. Okay, so this one I actually made to match with my daughter for her second birthday. The skirt is, what is the skirt? Oh, the skirt is some McCall's pattern that I had. They had two options. You could do like a midi length one or a full length. I did midi length. And this top was just like a rosary apparel. She did like a tutorial of how to make a top from rectangles basically and elastic. So I followed that. So altogether, it's a little more cropped than I would like, but I just had to make it work with the fabric that I had left from making the skirt. So yeah, I obviously have only worn this once. I don't really know where else I would wear this to. Also, the top wasn't my favorite because it was really tight in the armpit area. It's something I've discovered, that I don't like things tight in my armpit. If it's tight in my armpit, I hate it. So this one is a little tight there. So I would probably wear the skirt again before I wear the top again, honestly. Moving along, so this skirt was a fail. This was actually Joann's before she closed. They had their, oh, I can't think of the name of it, but basically they had the fabric that was already elasticated, and you could just basically do one seam down the middle and you would have a dress. So since it was my first time working with elasticated fabric, I didn't realize that you had to basically immediately serge it after you cut it, or else it starts falling apart. Because it was very cute by the time I attached, I cut the rest of the fabric and did sleeves and stuff. However, the top part started falling apart because I didn't secure the elastic. But it's okay, because, you know, learning curves. So instead of completely scrapping it, I just cut the top off, folded it down, and made it into a skirt. I've only worn this twice or once, I don't know, because it seems, because obviously it was meant to be a dress, so the pockets like billow a little too much and it makes me look very wide on bottom. So if you guys have any suggestions on how to fix that, that would be great. But like, I love the color. It's like that cotton gauze, and yeah, it's cute. It billows out a little too much. So I feel like it makes me look bottom heavy, if that makes sense. Anywho, next up is another dress. Rooney's Sewing or something like that here on YouTube. Again, it's one of those how to make something with just your measurements kind of thing. And I don't know if I'm just bad at measuring myself, but I made it and the back was way too big. So I actually ended up having to put a channel and elasticating it a little bit, because it's still very moo-moo-ish, but it was like super moo-moo-ish. It looked like I was walking around in my mother's dress. It was a little too big. So I elasticated it in the back, and that seemed to help. And I had to adjust the shoulders a lot too, because they were literally falling off of me. So I had to bring both the shoulders in like a whole inch. It was a whole thing. But yeah, so they do have pockets. But yeah, I love this fabric. I think it's so cute. It's nice and light in the summertime. I wear this a bunch in the summer, and I wasn't hot because it's cotton, so it was nice and breezy. But yeah, there's that one. We're trucking right along here. All right, so this one. So it turns out, after I bought this pattern on Etsy, and I'm not going to link it for you guys, but I bought this pattern on Etsy, and I cut out the sizing and everything, and I realized it was very weird. Like, I ended up having to go back and recut out the straps because they were way too short. This, as you could see, is just way too wide on the side. Same thing with the crotch area. I had to bring it down. And then it turns out that I realized the pattern was AI. So that would be why all of the measurements were super weird. Like I had to bring it in a whole 1.5 inches on both sides because the measurements or the sizing of it was just completely off. So this is cute. I've worn it a few times. It's not my favorite fit, like I said, and I trying to avoid buying patterns on Etsy because it's become so infiltrated with AI garbage. So unless I know it's like a verified pattern, I'm probably not going to buy any more patterns on Etsy, to be honest. Moving along, we have another skyline dress from Sydney Graham. So the first one, let me just grab it again. Woo. So the first one, as you can see, it's patchwork and then it's 2 panels for the skirt. And this one, I just did one continuous skirt. So we just have the top and then we have one long skirt. This came out super cute. I love it. And I also made a matching bandana with it too because I had a little bit of fabric left over. And just from this dress to this dress, in my opinion, obviously I can tell because I'm a lot more closer to it than you guys are, but my sewing skills from this one to this one, you could tell there is a significant improvement. But yeah, I absolutely love this color. One of my favorite pieces that I've made. Actually, I think this might be my favorite sewing piece. Yeah, I think this might be my favorite sewing piece for the year. But yeah, oh, go back. But yeah, moving along. We have, this is my husband's favorite piece of mine, but this is the strawberry shortcake dress. So as you can see, it has like a drop down empire waist, which I absolutely love. So yeah, the waist comes all the way down to here and then flares out. She has pockets. She has the 3 things of channeling. It's very, very cute. The only thing was that I didn't like the way I did the sleeves. So I've only worn this once because, as you could see, the sleeves are kind of like, no, the straps, not the sleeves. The straps are not the greatest. And I don't know how to, because you attach the straps on the inside of the lining and the outside piece. So I don't know how to fix it without completely taking the top apart. Also, I don't have any more of the fabric. So I think next time I make this, at least for the straps, I think I'll just buy like pre-made bias tape. And then I think that would just make my life a little bit easier in making sure that the straps come out super clean. So I think that's what I'll do next time. But yeah, other than that, absolutely love it. I think she's gorgeous. And I felt like a little Disney princess wearing it. So yeah. This one again is a skyline top. So this I made for our first day of homeschool. And I'll probably wear it every day, first day of homeschool, just for funsies. But yes, Sydney, both in the pattern and on her YouTube channel, have tutorials on how to use the top pattern to make it into a top, and then how to bring the tie from the back to the front as well. So yes, I thought it came out super cute. I made this and a pencil patch with this fabric, and I thought it was just very cute. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of use out of the skyline pattern because I have it. I might as well make as many things out of it as I can. Moving on, this is the first top I've made, or first crochet top I've made that wasn't acrylic. Most of my patterns, or most of the crochet stuff I've done are acrylic because honestly that's what's the most affordable. But I decided to try out the Karen cakes in their cotton. It was like the cotton cloud or something like that. And this is basically the exact same thing I did with the red bolero, but I decided to make the sleeves shorter. Wearing the bolero, I love it, but the only thing that drives me crazy sometimes is like if I can't push the sleeves up when I'm like dealing with the kids or washing dishes or cooking dinner or something, it drives me insane. So I really wanted another bolero, but I wanted the sleeves to not drive me insane. So I made it, and it's like a cute little, it's like a half sleeve, I would say. But yeah, I love it. This colorway is gorgeous, I think. But yeah, that's my cute little second bolero. But yeah, I think if I do any more boleros, I think I like that sleeve length because, like I said, it doesn't drive me insane. Moving on to the project that took me the longest and my most prized possession of the entire year. I made this crochet cardigan for Halloween, and she is just, you know, I'm going to put it on for you guys because it really is my favorite thing that I made all year long. So what I did is I went to Stitch Fiddle and I created the back tapestry piece in Stitch Fiddle. So I drew, I'm not an artist, but I did draw all of these by hand in the program, including the Happy Halloween at the bottom and everything. And then the rest of it, the sleeves and all of that, are just granny squares with some appliques on it. And it took about, I think, 45 hours to complete all of this stuff. But in my opinion, it was 100% worth it. I wore it on several occasions during the month of October because I was like, if I put in the work for it, might as well wear it as much as I can. So yes, I think this is my favorite project of 2025. And then moving on, every year going forward, starting last year obviously, I wanted to make myself a dress for my birthday. So I made this one again. It's the Skyline dress by Sydney Graham. And the reason why I like it is because the straps, it's nice and it's a little bit looser fitting, so you don't have to worry about being super tight. And you can it's very easy to layer with it. So I can wear this in the winter with just like a turtleneck and some fleece-lined leggings on the bottom. And then I can also wear it like this in the summer. So I like it because it's very versatile. So this one, I did the top, the middle, and then the bottom. So it has the 2 tiers. Just like the first one that I made did, it's just of the same pattern. But yeah, so not much to say about that one. And then the last piece of the year was a crochet project, and it was this cutie pie. Again, I'll link the tutorial that I followed. I did it a little bit differently. Like I did it a lot shorter. The one in the video, I think hers came to like down here. I didn't want it to be that long. I wanted it to be a little more on the cropped side. So I did make it a little bit, I think it's like 10 rows shorter than what she did. And then I did the different colored, I did 2 different colors for my border because I thought it was cute. These reindeer pockets, obsessed, they're so cute. And then she had more buttons. I just decided to do the one little button because I've noticed that even with like my Halloween one, I only ever button the top one anyway. I rarely ever button the whole thing. So I decided to just do one little gold button there. And yeah, that's my little Christmas sweater. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. So in total, I made 16 garments last year. So for being my first full year of sewing, for most of those to be sewing, I think I'm pretty proud of. Oh, let me show you one more thing. So I also made this cute purse. This, I feel like, is very popular in the sewing community. It's called the Bestie Bag by Blackbird Fabrics. And basically, you will see some of these fabrics are familiar because I took my scraps from all the garments I've made and also all the tote bags and book sleeves I've made for my Etsy and Shopify shop as well. I took all my leftover fabrics from those and decided to do my first true patchwork project, and I love it. I absolutely love the way it came out. My only thing is that I totally forgot with the straps that I only needed half of the amount of batting and not the full length because you know you fold it in half. So I broke, I think, 2 needles trying to attach the straps to the inside of the bag. This is the smaller version. They have a version that's even bigger than this too, but I think this is a perfect size. I think I would do, let me just show you guys the other way too. I think I would do another one in like a solid color, just so that way if I'm like going out with my husband, I can wear a bag and that I made and it's still, you know, be matchy, I guess. But I kind of love this one. I was very proud of it. It took it took way longer than I thought. I never realized how long it takes to patchwork things. I also did the squares. I did 1 by 1 inch by 1 inch. And I feel like next time I do a patchwork like this, I'll probably do like 2 inch by 2 inch because it was a little too small. And I think that's why it took me so long to get through it. But yeah, other than that, I kind of love it. And yeah, that is all of my wearables that I've made for the year of 2025. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.